Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second of two evaluation sessions here for the Straight Line Motorsports GT3 Championship here. I am in the commentary box with SDM Viper, as I am myself, SDM_RRDZ. And Viper, of course you obviously missed the first session, of course, but what did you think about the ultra-high competitiveness of some of the GT3 cars that were on the field for the first session?
Yes, indeed. It was a highly competitive event here, and fortunately I missed that first race, but I am here in the commentary box here for the second outing of this event here, and we will look to see some highly competitive drivers and race cars on the grid here for today at the Nürburgring here. It should be a very interesting 1 hour long session here today.
Well, I do like to hear that from one of the main analysts of myself, or my fellow compadre here. So we start to take a look at some of the other side of drivers that will be participating in this evaluation. And the number 95 Mercedes is Swift. So he has been a long-time protagonist in this series. So he was running in one of many Mercedes in this session with the 95 right there. And then the 69 Costa Mercedes of Hairraiser, who has also been a protagonist in this series for a long time. Yes. And then Doug Barrow in the sister 13 Costa Mercedes in the lighter orange over the red. He will be running in this session. And then Elliot Fageter, who is back for this session, placed 10th in the first session. So that's not a good showing for him, but of course if he can find up some time and make up some progress in this session, that would be a very good day for him, of course.
He knows how to drive that GTR, and he's very ferocious. That is a track weapon that he knows inside and out and knows every way to use that car to its advantage. Should be an interesting.
And then we have a Nissan, which I cannot discrete a number out of, unfortunately, because I can't really see a number plate. And then we have the 23 Mercedes, which is also currently sitting in its pit box. So let's start to take a look at what these cars are going to be capable of.
Yes, absolutely. The 95 is showing strong pace here off the bat here as Swift, making good use of all the tracks and all the curving around this famed German circuit here with that carbon fiber looking sleek under the sunlight here at the Nürburgring GP. He knows how to drive that car. He's actually done previous GT3 races with Elliot Fageter in the GTR as well in previous GT3 championships, and he's a pretty good driver with that car as well. I've seen some races with him performing at that setup, but now he's in the Mercedes here, and it should be a good setup for what he is going to be doing here at this track here.
Yep, as he rounds the third to last couple of turns, I should say, as he winds his way up to the chicane. It looked like a very good exit right there, using a lot of the real estate that is provided to you, but you can't use too much because you don't want to cut the course and get yourself a track limits violation penalty, of course.
Using every corner, every curb advantage to get a good corner into the final turn, and coming out of the final turn now, coming up, sets a 156.388. That's going to be a hard time to beat right there. That driver there, the GT3 platform, is very good at what he does here. Should be a very tense session here for what we have to come here.
And the thing about that so far is that it's actually already eclipsed. I really hate to say it, but on the first lap of the session, no, I apologize. One of the fastest lap of a 54.6. So my apologies there. The 54.6 was set by the Aston Martin, the number 81 Aston Martin. That was a very, very, very quick lap indeed, and that was on qualifying trim as well. So as these guys start to wind down the tires, wind down the fuel a little bit, we should see these times start breaking through a little bit as well. Now Doug Barrow in the 56.6, 4.5 in the 13 Costa Mercedes, and then Hairraiser in the 69 as well. He does a 58.9, so at least 2.5 seconds off of his teammate. And Elliot Fageter right now
coming on, he's got the best sector right now, looking really strong here in that GTR here. I would suspect that we're going to see a new fastest time here, and gets a strong corner exit right there. Now we've got a new fastest lap, 156.233 here. That is the quickest. Now this is going to be interesting to see what Swift will do. He's about a 10th down on Elliot. and it'll be interesting to see what here. Oh, he's slower in sector 3 right there, about 68,000 slower than his previous time, so he won't be improving on this stint right here as well here. So, but we're gonna see what other drivers here will be able to do here, coming through the chicane now in that carbon fiber AMG Mercedes, and coming through the final turn now. Looks like he's going to be a little bit slower in traffic and slower on the track here, and he sets up for a 1:56.048, improves in the final sector, sets the fastest lap here, a 10th above Elliott in the 64 Nissan.
Yeah, that's a very good run there by the number 95 AMG. So it's given Elliott Baggett a bit of a confidence boost from the first session, which
61,000's up on sector 2 right now. He's done the fastest sector 2 of the track here so far. It'll be interesting to see what he has in plan here for sector 3 right now.
Yeah, and he's got about a couple more corners to go, but you know, the GTR, which was a main protagonist of the series in last season, which placed it 1-2 at Le Mans, he is 2/10 up on Swift's time right now. So we're looking at
a second right now.
So we're looking at a cracking in the 55s right now. But in terms of session 1 times, that is still right now it's at least 1.6 seconds slower than what we were seeing in session 1 with those Aston Martins.
Coming through the final turn here of the Nürburgring here, it'll be very interesting. Oh, he goes a little wide. That's going to cost him big time. Is it going to be enough? Will he be able to improve somehow on this track here? Not going to be able to do it. Nope.
No improvement.
Lost a lot of time in the final turn of the Nürburgring here. Let's see what he's got for this lap here right now.
Let's keep an eye on Swift for a second as he has to make his next lap count as well. 4/10, that's nearly half a second down on his own personal best. So we are looking at a very big scorcher of a fastest lap here, coming up here real shortly. Now this final corner, which has been a main problem for some of these Session 1 guys, that would be quick in the rest of the sectors, but the final sector would cause a lot of mayhem and havoc for most of these guys. And we got a pit lane and we got a penalty for violating track limits, so he's got to cancel out all that time. Can he still make it to the line and possibly make up some time, which I don't think is going to happen?
He did look like he did take the corner of that curb a little too much there. Must have gotten all 4 tires on that curbing and was really trying to improve, but he had the potential to do it, just did it at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, that wasn't good right there. Now we have Doug Barrow, who is now just 6/10 slower off of Swift right now. And Hair Razor going a little bit wide, but Doug Barrow right now just finding his rhythm right now and being able to get back into the pace now.
The 2 Costa Mercedes now probably working in tandem here. I think we're going to get a little strategy here going. Let's see what the drafting goes. On board with the number 13 Mercedes.
Using a lot of the real estate right there. Now that's a pretty generous offering right there to try and make up some time, of course. He's 2/10 up right now, so this will be very, very interesting to take a look at. Will Hair Razor be a problem in terms of traffic right now? Now, of course, in terms of qualifying trim, you want to be able to make sure you don't have a lot in your way, but Hair Racer moving into the inside. I'm not sure. Yep, he's going to get out of the way for him so he doesn't mess up this lap for Doug Barrow.
Hair Racer going behind the 13 car right there in the 63, using all the real estate he can, 7 thousandths above his personal best here. I don't know if this is going to be a new fastest lap here or not.
And while we're taking a look at this, Elliott Baggett has gone even faster, but not enough to eclipse Swift's fastest, so now he's roughly about 5/10 down. He's 43,000 slower than Swift right now.
56.091 is Elliott's fastest time here. He's narrowing that gap down just 43 seconds, 43 thousandths of a second separate the two.
So let's go back to Doug Barrow here real quickly, as he's the one that we'll have to take a look at, as Hair Razor is trailing him, of course. I apologize for the change of cameras right there, but we keep an eye on Doug Barrow right now. What has he got up his sleeve or up his racing suit to try and get a faster lap in? 53, 54, 55.
Not going to do it.
Not going to do it. 2/10 down.
Lost a lot of time there. On board with the 69 car right there. Now, jumping through the field here. The 95 now really making this.
He's putting a lot of pressure on the 64 right now. So the 64, of course, he's up there, which is giving Elliott a lot of confidence right now to get him to try and set these fastest laps. But if you think about it, these times, of course, they're about 1.6 seconds slower at most than what we were seeing in session number 1, which was, of course, led by an Aston Martin 1-2, and those cars were the only 2 cars to dip into the 54s, obviously. The closest thing we've seen was an Audi that was setting a 55 deads, basically, but that was just very, very close indeed for the top 3 of those cars, of course.
Potentially a change in the track temperature, most likely in the atmosphere as well, is what is contributing to this. Elliott Fageter coming off the final corner here. Is he going to improve the time here? No, he cannot get it done. 6.79 was the time there. Swift still on top here. What's he got left in this qualifying session here? Doug Barrow trying anything he can to get his way up into the top 2, potentially a front row start. But Swift, oh, Fageter got on the curb, shuffled the car a little bit. That's going to upset his lap here a little bit. Swift, though, he is just really putting the hammer down in that Mercedes right now.
Yeah, Swift seems to be the one that's the man on a mission right now, but look at Elliott right now. He's about 4/10 nearly up on Swift's time, and Swift comes into the pits right now. But let's just take a quick couple of minutes or so to keep following on Elliott Fageter's time right now.
He is really putting the hammer down in that big Nissan GTR. Swift going in, putting tires on the car and back out, and he's going to try and set an even faster lap here with that. I think it's going to be getting the 55s. 2/10 up on sector 2 there. Elliott using all the curbing that he can to try and beat this time. He wants to show that Nissan can get into the 55s and try to outpace the Mercedes squad that is on this track here today.
Yeah, keep in mind, you got about 2 championship classes that you're fighting for. You're either fighting for the Pro and for the Pro-Am, as Elliott goes down 3/10 currently up on his 56.091. So we're definitely looking, if he can keep it in check here, at a new fastest of this session. So we'll take a quick look to see what happens here for the rest of this session right here.
Coming to the final turn here, he's got a bunch of real estate here. Coming to the final turn, looking very good. He's going to get a good corner here. He's going to get into the 55s here. We will see here. Oh, it gets a little wide going off the final corner here. Doesn't improve. 56.225. That final corner is what did the trick there, right there as well.
And like I said earlier in this broadcast, that final sector has been playing a lot of havoc and creating a lot of challenges for most of these guys. You know, they're looking like first sectors 1, 2, and 3. They're able to keep the momentum and keep the cars moving. Purple sectoring it, of course, and being able to make sure that they can pace the session. But that final sector can sometimes cause a lot of problems for a lot of these guys, and that just did right there for that Nissan GTR.
As well as Swift right there, he's on his best sector by 18,000 slower than his personal best there. I don't know how that's going to play out for this British driver here, trying to set a new faster lap here. Using all the curbing he can to get that big GTR to the top spot.
And while we're taking a look at that now, Swift is on starting another fast lap, so we will take a look at him when he comes back. But now Elliott is the man to watch right now, exiting sector 2.
62 thousandths quicker than his personal best here.
That would do it if he can keep the momentum going. It's going to be dependent on how Elliott can recap in that final sector and be able to recapitalize on what he did wrong, especially out of that final corner, which cost him a humongous amount of time, especially at the wrong point.
Oh, that was I don't know if that was lag right there or if that was just the car getting loose right there. 90 thousandths up on his personal best here. We will see here. This is when it is going to be the deciding factor whether Elliott will get the top spot or not improve his time here. Coming through the chicane here, slowing down, making a braking zone necessary here. Takes all the curbing. Oh, that may have been a little bit wide there. May have given the car a penalty. No. Yep, there's the penalty.
And there's the penalty right there.
He's got to slow down, or he's going to have to cancel, or he's going to not count for his next lap.
No penalty, no change. So
no change whatsoever.
Of course, sometimes you have to be careful, like I said, especially in that final sector where sometimes that final chicane can catch you really off guard. You have to be very wary of how much you can take and how much. There's always a fine line between how much you can take to kind of gain an advantage, but then sometimes that advantage can sometimes be very unfortunate. You can get very penalized your own. You can pretty much wreck your own lap at that sector, at that turn.
He is really pushing that GTR, going very loose and very wide through that section right there. But here's the man to watch coming through the final turn, the 95 of Swift now. I think we're going to see a new personal best here, up 55 potentially, maybe.
Looks like a very good exit out of that final corner. Let's see what we can do.
55, 4, 7, 8. What a dominating performance by the 95.
That's about 6/10 up on the 64 GTR. So now, Elliott Fager's pit crew are probably thinking to themselves, what can we do to try and close this gap right now? Because right now, Swift is the one to beat right now.
Keep in mind that the 64 has not pitted yet, but the 95 has here. I think Elliott just, he's taking that car really wide here through the end of Sector 2 there. But the man to watch now is Swift in that Mercedes, only 74,000 slower than his personal best and the fastest time on this track here. That man looking very strong here today at the Nürburgring.
Yeah, he seems to be doing a very good job, of course. The Mercedes, the homegrown machine here. We did see a couple Mercedes take part in the last session, including a couple AMGs and then at least one Mercedes SLS AMG. I think the fastest Mercedes for that session, I'm pretty sure, was P4 or 5. I have to double check on that, but I'm pretty sure it was a pretty strong car for the most part, competing with some of the BMWs, the Lexuses, and it was pretty much just a very good car to use all around, obviously, but so far it's just been the car to beat this session, according to Swift.
34,000 slower in Sector 2 right here. Coming to the line at Sector 3, what's he going to do here? Improves by
just under 2/10 right now, so we have to take a look at this right now and see how he's going to manage this final corner, or this final sector right now.
Oh, and there's a car stopped on track right now. I don't know who that's going to be. That's Elliott right there. I think this is the end of qualifying right here. Let's see if the 95 will improve his final time here. Coming through the final turn here, gets it on the gravel a little bit. Is that going to be enough to improve his time? Yes, it does. 1:55.106. That man is on a mission right here, a near full second ahead of the second place car, Elliott, in the 64.
Yeah, it's interesting to note that, you know, with the fastest times we were seeing in the first session of 1:54.640, so he's definitely starting to crack up on those 54s, because not a whole lot of cars were making their way into the 54s in the first session. There were only 2 cars, and they were both that smart. So this is a very great improvement for the Mercedes team here and for the manufacturer itself. So if that gentleman can get that car into the 54s, he could probably challenge himself to probably be the fastest guy outright this weekend.
The faster he goes, the faster he improves on this track here, finding every crook and cranny on this track here to improve his time a little by little, and that man is on a mission right now. Swift in the 95 doing phenomenal work at this racetrack here, a 1:55.106. I don't see how that's going to be beaten by anyone else but that man right there.
Yeah, he's down just under 3/10 right now, so it might be time to come in and get some fresh rubber, at least for his part. He's pretty much just stayed out on the track since pretty much the first set of tires. He's got the fuel down to about 1/4 of a tank, so if he wants to pit for some fresher tires and probably try and crack into the 54s, he does have the consistency and he has the rhythm in check to at least try and get closer to those pace-setting times of session number 1.
Nearly 3/10 down on this time. Will we see Swift coming into the pit lane here at this time here? He's got the time to do one more lap here. Not just yet. Swift is in the pits right now. This is going to be the time that matters at all right here. Will Swift be able to improve on his time? Elliott still stopped at the commitment line to pit lane here, but the Costa Mercedes, the 13 Mercedes coming through, he improves to a 1:56.552 right now. And the bottom 2 really trying to step up here. And they haven't pitted either yet. Oh, no.
0.992, a second off of his fastest. That's not good for Doug Barrow. What about Hair Razor? What he's got up his sleeve? 7/10 down. So the Mercedes is here. It looks like Swift is able to get the Mercedes check, but for the Costa Mercedes, Team Costa Mercedes, something's definitely not right, obviously. So we have to take a look at and see what's going to happen. But as the session rolls on, we will continue to monitor the progress of these drivers and see how their times unfold. Swift now on a new set of rubber for Pirelli P0 slicks, but the fuel remains the same. So now he's in qualifying trim now. So this will be very, very interesting to watch right now.
He is in track attack mode right now, and he is going to find a way to sink his way down to the 54s, because I think it's going to be doable for this team right here. And they're going to look to go out qualifying with a bang here. Trying to warm up those tires right now. He knows he's got the fastest car on track here. He just wants to put it in everybody's faces saying, hey, I can improve on this track here, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to try and go into the 54s right now.
And he's doing a very good job on the outlet right now. Elliott Fageter's still sitting on the side of pit lane right now, so I am not sure if he's going to be able to continue on with this session because of the fact that he's done a very good job, of course. Don't get me wrong on that. He's done a very good job to try and find the pace that he can in that Nissan GTR. But right now, it's just the Mercedes of Swift just putting the pressure on the rest of the field and just pretty much getting very, very close to being the guy to beat, not just this session, but all weekend as well, because he's getting very, very close to those session 1 times.
Coming out of his outlap right here, this is the time that'll make the difference. A full second ahead of Elliott in the 64 right now as we go on board with the 95. Let's go on board and watch this man attack this track, excuse me.
Exiting the hairpin at turn 1 now, it's going to be a very long hairpin sweeping left-hander for turn number 2. You're on the power for a brief moment of time, but then instantly back on the brakes for turn number 3, and it's a very slower left-hander, and then it sets you up straight for the right-hander at turn number 4. Use all the runoff that you can and all the real estate that you can, just so that you can be able to benefit yourself some time. 3/10 now up for this man right here. He's getting close to those session 1 times. Turn number 5 and then turn number 6 before it sets him up for a long and very slow sweeping left-hander towards turn number 7. The hairpin, of course.
Coming to the hairpin right now for turn 7 right now. Oh, he gets the slide a little bit right there. Is that going to cost him dearly right now? We'll find out. The line at sector 2 right now doesn't really
3/10, but still up there. The Schumacher S is for turns 8 and 9. Very much keep the pedal to the metal right here, and then sets you up for turn number 10. Hard on the brakes at the 100-meter board, and then keep it on the AstroTurf, or not off the AstroTurf, I should say. Turn number 11 now.
Coming to the sector line, he's
still 3/10.
I think the 54s are going to be doable here. I think they're very, very doable this right here.
But keep in mind, a lot of these guys mess up on the final sector, 100-meter board. How much momentum can you keep it through the chicane? That was a very good momentum swing right there. But is it penalty worthy? It doesn't look like it, but through the final corner, it's going to be very, very close indeed if he peaks the 54s, or is able to get close to a 54.6 through sector.
A thrilling lap indeed, and is it going to be a 54? Yes, it does. 1:54.804. What a really qualifying session for that man right there.
Yeah, and that's a very good lap now. That's a very good lap right now as well. Of course, that's actually enough to pace even second place in the first session. So right now, the second fastest guy outright is this man right here in the Mercedes.
Hair Razor is in the pits right now in the number 69 Mercedes, the Costa Mercedes right here. Let's see if he's got anything left up his sleeve here for Swift right now in that Mercedes right now. I think Swift.
Yeah, he's definitely on a slow lap right now. But there is another guy that has entered the track, and it is Jack Mia, I should say, in the number 36 Nissan. So he is setting his first set of laps in the very bright and very nicely colored blue Nissan GTR Nismo.
Indeed, indeed. Here, you're just watching this man take his first laps here at the Nürburgring right here in the number 36 Nissan GTR right here. Still nothing from Elliott in the 64 car. He is still stopped on the side of the pit lane right now. Let's see what Jack Mia does right now. Hair Razor, I don't know. Doesn't look like anything's going to happen right here. Doug Barrow, 2 Costa Mercedes. I don't think they've got anything left right here. Elliott stopped on the side of the road. He could have had more time, but I don't know. I think Swift has this session wrapped in the bag and is sitting comfortably in P1 for pole position.
Well, not pole position, but of course this is an evaluation session, so there's no races to be had, but this is going to be determined to who is going to participate in the GT3 championship in either the Pro or the Pro-Am classes right now. And I'd say pretty much at the moment, Swift is going to be going to that Pro-Am Pro class as I speak right now, as he comes into the pits.
Duck Barrel coming in the pits as well right here. This will be an interesting lap right here for these two Mercedes right now. Put 4 Dunlop tires on that car, the number 13. And Doug Barrow coming back out has enough fuel to probably make a couple more laps here. Swift, on the other hand, probably 4 fresh Pirelli P0 slicks, and just settling off to possibly extend his core. But Doug Barrow has just improved to a 156.162 on his personal best around the curve right here. Let's see if he's got something left here. I think he's going to give Elliott a run for his money here in terms of second place right here.
Yeah, let's go back to Swift right here right now, as he is on an out lap right now. He has definitely come back to the pits, so I assume now it's going to be 1 lap at a time now, where Swift is going to try and crack closer to that 54.640 that was set by Jacquet in the Aston Martin, number 81 Aston Martin. So
absolutely indeed here. Swift right now has done everything he could to make a dominant statement at this track, and he's just going to go above and beyond right now.
Yeah, and also while we're monitoring Swift, also another developing interesting thing, Jack Mia in the 36 GTR has gone to 4th quickest, outpacing the 69 Mercedes. So this is something that will obviously be an interesting thing to take a look at. So
Jack Mia right now doing a 156
so far.
Let's see if he's got something left here.
Oh, and we say that Swift is going on a hot lap mode right now. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do in terms of trying to get an even faster lap and try and possibly crack into being the fastest driver all weekend.
Mercedes looking like the dominant car right here, but Jack Mia right now slowly creeping his way up here. We suspect he's got something up his sleeve right now to try and do something, try to get his way up to the top of the timesheets here.
Yeah, so he exits turn 4 right now, taking a lot of real estate right now, but where's he find out into sector 1 where he's going to be at right now? 70,000's down. So, not a whole lot of time lost, but there are certainly not a lot of time to gain as well. So, it will be interesting to see how Swift carries out this remaining lap, as he's very, very low on fuel indeed. So,
he probably just took enough fuel just to make this 1 lap stint right here, and he's probably going to come back in probably more fuel and more tires. He's going really wide on the curb. He gets the left tires on the gravel, going a tenth slower now in the sector 3 right now. But Doug Barrow right now really throwing down the pressure now on the top 2 right now. Now 154.8 is a really threatening time right there for the whole competition right now. 3/10 slower for Swift right here. I don't think he's going to improve. I think he may come back to the pits.
Yeah, I think it's because of the fact that the low weight on these cars on the straightaways, you might have to sacrifice it for the corners, I feel like. So maybe putting in more fuel for the corners might be the way to go here for these guys. So immediately straight back to the pit. There's no improvement there. He knows that wasn't a very good lap indeed.
With Doug Barrow right now, let's see if he's got something up his sleeve here. I don't know.
5. No improvement.
No improvement. 5/10 slower than his personal best right there.
Elliott still sitting on the side of the track, nothing there.
Hair Racers back in the pits again.
Jack Mia in the 36 Nissan, still setting some laps on the track. So what has he got up his sleeve in terms of trying to improve on that 56.536?
He just gotta get all that fuel out of the tank right there, slap a set of new slicks on there, and he should be good for a thrilling vaulting lap here. He's 2/10 up on his personal best right now. Really putting the hammer down in that Nissan GTR right there.
So yeah, let's just see how his lap goes. He's coming to the line now.
Coming to the line right now. Let's see, 53. No personal best here. 56.
56.236. So
3/10 exactly faster.
So very quick on the gear shifting down to try and get that car stopped using a little, very much pushing the braking limits on that GTR. So while we do that, let's go back to Swift, who's been the pace setter this whole session right now. Where is he going to stand in trying to at least crack past that 54.804?
On this out lap right here, right now, this man has been the man to watch all day in this whole session right now. He's got the fastest time by over 1.2 seconds right now over Elliott in the 64 machine.
And at one point it was just about like a couple of thousandths of a second or something like that. Just under a tenth separated these two. Now it's just 1.2 seconds. It's a very big margin to make up time around here, obviously. And sometimes finding a lot of time around the circuit is not easy to do.
Cutting around the final turn right there.
And we say that right now, Doug Barrow has actually gone second fastest with a 155.449. So he's put himself 7/10 under of Swift's fastest. So Elliott currently in third, but if he wants to improve on that 156.091, he's going to have to go back out on track and make some laps to do it, make it happen.
Let's see if this man can stretch the gap right here. The gap now just over 0.6 of a second now, separating the top two Mercedes, and Swift is gone really wide. Lots of throttle through that left to right-hander right there, and that's going to cost him dearly.
Yeah, I think he hit the slippery stuff right on there on the exit of turn number 2. So that stuff's it's not very it's less grippier, but it's obviously very, very slippery because you get a lot of tire buildup, and obviously you get a lot of dirt on the tires, and it's going to basically affect your handling, obviously, so you don't want that happening. But of course, right just there, it did happen to Swift. So that wasn't very good on his part, and obviously just gonna have to go back to the pits and try it again.
Absolutely, indeed. That is going to cancel his lap, and he'll have to go back to the lap and try and do 2 more laps again. Not the way he wanted this lap to go. So we'll have to bring that 95 machine back down the pit lane, get more tires and more fuel in that car to do another lap right here.
Let's go back to Hairraiser right now, who's obviously been quiet this session at 156.850, which puts him 2 seconds slower than Swift. But let's see if he can try and be able to find up some lost time. He hasn't had the best of sessions so far, which will probably put him in the Pro-Am section. But unless he finds some time, then maybe he might be able to sneak himself into the Pro class if possible.
Doug Barrow now in the number 13 car in the pit lane. Let's see if he's got anything left here. He's trying to set his way up to the top spot here of this time session. And Swift now back in the pit lane after an incident through the sector 1 here of this track here. Let's see what Hairraiser's got. He's trying to wear down the fuel in his car, try to get all that out of there, of the tank right there. 157.315, 0.4 slower than his personal best here.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting final few 20-minute session, final few 20 minutes of the session. So Swift back on an outlap, Doug Barrow on an outlap as well. Elliott's still sitting there. Jack Me also on an outlap. So the only one pretty much setting
lap here is Hairraiser. It'll be interesting for everyone else to see when they come around to the finish line here.
So there is Swift just in front of Hairraiser, and in front of him, a ways away, is going to be Doug Barrow. So we're going to take a look at Doug Barrow and see if he can try and improve on that 155.449, which for the most part he has struggled this session, but it looks like he's finally finding the rhythm, which is a very good thing for this driver because he's obviously fighting for a spot in the Pro Championship, obviously, because you always want to be in the top championship, and Pro-Am's a fine championship, but you always want to set yourself above and beyond to go for the faster championships and be part of a group of racers who find themselves part of the fastest in the series, obviously.
Absolutely, indeed. That is the rank that you want to be in as well. to have not only a shot for the class championship, but also the overall championships, and say, hey, I'm the top dog of this series, and I won. That's the man of the mission of Doug Burrow that he's on right now, but he's coming around for his finishing out lap right here, and he's going to start his next lap for the timesheets here. And let's see what this man in the 13 machine has on this track right now.
So coming to the first turn right now, reasonable braking point, 100 meter board, is the apex. It's the exit curves, gets very, very loose, but is able to save it. Now for turn 2, and he goes a little wide on the green stuff. That's not where he wants to put the car. And a very, very good turn 3 and turn 4. Keep the momentum push going. That's a very, very good sector 1 so far. So that's going to help him gain a little bit of time at most.
3/10.
Surprisingly not. So that's 3/10 down. So he needs to go a little bit faster.
He's got to get all the fuel out of that car and just do a 1 lap sprint for what he's got in his fuel tank right there. So I don't know. It's going to be really close. But the 95 now looking really strong here.
Yeah, he's on really low fuel. He's in the red right now. So this will be him trying to extract the most out of this car right now. These are the fastest that these cars are going to be. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what Swift can do.
Absolutely, indeed, right here. Let's see if he's going to come off sector 2. Now we go back and look at Doug Barrow right here.
I apologize for that, but Doug Barrow right now about to hit the final corner of sector 3 and go into sector 4.
6/10 slower.
6/10 down.
He's not going to improve unless he has a monster makeup back in the final sector.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to improve. But what will Swift have in mind?
He is 3/10
down as well. So this is a very interesting thing. It's Jack Mia, who's now gone to 3rd fastest with a 56.071. So Jack Mia in one of the Nissans, 36, has been outpacing the 64.
He's got a half a second penalty from somewhere on the track. He may have cut it or done something else. Swift now back in the pits here. He's got to get more fuel and newer tires back in that car. Let's see here.
There's definitely some new Pirellis going on that car. And then obviously,
and they're going to send it back out now with that car right there.
Hair Razor as well back in the pits.
He comes out back out of the pit lane for his next set of laps here. And we will see here if there's going to be any major improvements at all. 4/10 slower down for sector 1 for Doug Barrow in the Costa right there.
Let's go over with Jack Mia right now. Oh, and he's definitely slowing up to try and clear that penalty, which he has. So he's trying to set up for another flying lap. So let's see what he's got in store for this flying lap. Let's go on board with him from a driver's view right now.
Yes, the helmet cam on this 36 Nissan right here as Elliott now is going to be coming back out. He's got the car fired up again. Missed the shift a little bit right there. It looks like Elliott's going to be coming back around for a lap potentially that he's going to do. Oh no, he stopped the car. I think Elliott's having issues with it right now. He's really trying, putting the hammer down. Raw V6 turbocharged. He's a 10th up on his personal best right here. We can see him dipping to the 55 right now.
This is where you really start to get. This is really you really start hearing the cars really kicking their power right now for the hairpin. And then another section coming up here where the cars will really go for and really start to hear the engines just really show their true grunt in them, obviously.
Absolutely, indeed, right now. Jack Mia right now, trying to do anything he can to improve on this sector right now. Third gear goes a little wide right there through that apex right there. Carrying all the momentum he can. He's got half a second penalty, but he's 4/10 up. This is going to hurt him majorly right now.
Yeah, this is going to be setting him back a little bit, so and he's gonna force the lap down. So now Swift now is on a flying lap too.
On helmet came with 95. 65,000 slower than his personal best right now.
That is a good start right there. Let's see what he can do for the other 3 sectors right now. Using a lot of the road that he's able to, which is trying to make sure he can use every bit of road that he can to be able to make sure that he's going to try and gain his own time.
Faggoter is moving on the track again. The 64 car is back on the track, and he is going to be trying to improve on his personal best right here, see if he can get himself back up there. A full 10th better for this lap right now. This will be interesting. The goes wide, goes to the gravel trap. This is going to majorly upset this time right now.
And I think he's got a little bit too cocky in the Schumacher S's right there. He's carrying a lot of
Going
speed
very wide right now. This is going to hurt him majorly right now. Very wide through this through turn up. He's dropped
It's going to warm up the tires a little bit, and I assume he's probably going to go back to the pits.
I don't know.
That did look like a very good sector number 2.
Doug Barrow back in the pits now in the 13 Costin Mercedes. I don't know. He's probably got enough to make one more lap.
Nope, he is going into the pits. That's a very late commitment, though, to the pit lane.
We'll see what the Steelers have to say about that, eh?
So some new tires going on that car. And he is going to take some form of fuel. Yes, he is. He's going to take just a bit of fuel. There goes one of the Costa Mercedes. That is the 69. Yes, that is the 69 of Hair Razor. And he hasn't had the best session.
But Elliott's just going to be improving. Probably going to improve on his fastest lap here too. We'll see now. He's warming up his tires now, preparing for this extra lap that he's probably going to be doing right here. It's not moving at all, but let's see. Jack Mia now in the pits now. Let's see what he can do for a flying lap here at the Nürburgring.
So that's not going to be an improvement for Elliott. 7 tenths down.
56.8 for Elliott.
Swift now on his outlap. So is Doug Barrow. And Jack Mia too.
I think he's going to let him Elliott by. Yes, he is. There's a cone right there.
There is Hair Razor right now in the 69.
Fastest for him is a 56.469. He just set his fastest lap of this session. Let's see now, once he got left in that car. Swift behind him, he's going to probably want some of that draft right there to help him improve his fastest lap. 4 tenths slower through sector 3 right now.
So Doug Barrow now on another starting another flying lap now. Let's see what he can do to possibly try and close the gap to the man who has been the guy to beat this session right here, the number 95 Mercedes of Swift. And Doug Barrow in the 13 Costa Mercedes. Let's see what he can do in terms of trying to close down the gap and see if he can find the time to do it at the same time.
He has done the come from behind job here in this session right here. From 4th to I believe 4th to 2nd now in the qualifying session right here. 2 tenths slower. I don't think he's going to be doing it again unless he gets all the fuel out of his car.
Yes, Swift right now also on another hot lap right now. Let's go back on with him so we can try to be able to finish this lap.
Absolutely. Let's see what he's got for sector 1 right now. 4,000 slower in sector 1 right now. This could be potentially a newer fastest lap right here.
Yeah, he's definitely, I think it looks like he's cooled down the tires a little bit on his outlet right now, so he's definitely trying to refresh himself for this lap here, for this hot lap.
Absolutely, indeed. That's Hair Razor right there, just in front of him. He's going to want some of that draft right there.
Yeah, but he's got to be quick on it, obviously, if he wants to be able to make that up. 2 tenths gain.
2 tenths slow, faster.
So we're going to...
We may see a new
He let off a little bit. I'm not sure that's going to hold his progress up a little bit, but he's definitely up on time right now. Keep an eye on this right now, because this will be very interesting to take a look at.
Swift now making easy work of this track right now, coming to the left and right-hander to the end of sector 3 right now. What's his time difference? 2/10.
Oh, this could be
faster.
a very monstrous lap right now for the whole weekend of the Straight Line Motorsports GT3 Championship here at the Nürburgring. He's got to make it through one last sector of this race, which has been a very huge problem. If he can master
going very wide, going into that turn left-hander, really using all 4 of the curving there. He's got no penalty right there. Let's see.
Final corner here.
Going a little wide there through the sector. He puts the car
on the gravel. He's still keeping it straight. What's it going to be? It's going to be a 54.588, and that right there is the fastest time of the weekend. What an impressive effort for the Mercedes right there. And for Jai Kai in the Aston Martin right there, he will unfortunately have to settle for P2, and then for Superhero in the Red Bull Aston Martin, that will be for P3. You can see the celebration in Swift right there. That right there in itself lets him know that he's just set the fastest time of the weekend here. And you can tell right there, he is definitely going.
Elliot's gone second quickest now. He's 7/10 slower, 1:55.352. Has he got anything left? No, he's just.
So Swift right there, you can tell by the way he did that donuts. With just a few minutes left in this evaluation session, he has put himself on the front end of the whole, of not just this whole session, but it's the whole weekend as well, that he is now the fastest driver in this set of evaluation sessions right there.
What a drive, what a performance, and what a time for that drive right there.
And I immediately thought that the Aston Martins were going to be the ones to beat. This gentleman right here in the Mercedes is definitely going to give the Aston Martins a really good challenge. And this series is going to be, and I'll tell you right now, the Pro class is going to be very, very feisty stuff indeed for when we have our first race next weekend.
Doug Barrow's dropped down to 4th place. Jack Mia's dropped up to 3rd right now. He's only 28 thousandths off Elliot's fastest time right now.
So just because one guy is able to set a fast lap doesn't mean you can count out the rest of the competition right now. Elliot Fagener right now, he's on a fast lap right now, but if he's able to get some blue sectors, or probably even some purple sectors, that would be still good for his part.
93 thousandths up on his personal best right now. We'll see if he can get into the 54s.
Yeah, this is at the point right now in the session where these guys are running their fuel into the red right now. They're not in the white, they are in the red. So they are very, very close to running out of fuel right here. It's going to have to come down to one lap at a time to see if you can put the car in the right spots, handle the right lines on the track. Another tenth and a quarter, just under, for Elliot Fagener gain right there.
Swift's just gone in the pits, and I think he's going to try and get one more time to see if he can improve on his personal best and fastest lap here. Elliot using all the curb real estate that he can. Going a little bit wide there on the exit there, coming to the final turn right now. Let's see what he's got right here in terms of this time right now.
That was a very slow final corner right there. I'm not sure if that held him up a substantial amount, but I'm pretty sure it has. No, I stand corrected. It is now a 155 dead for that driver right there. He's very, very close to joining the few amount of drivers who have been very, very close right there. But another thing to note, that is actually 5th fastest of the weekend for Elliot by 9 thousandths of a second, if you think about it. Or no, I stand correct, just about under 29 thousandths of a second, because the gentleman in the Audi R8 was setting a 155.051, and he was the closest driver to get to the 54s. And count that, including Swift with the 2 other Aston Martin drivers who have put themselves in the 54. Elliot is now the 5th quickest driver of the whole weekend. So that is a very good confidence boost for that driver right there.
Elliot making strong use of this track right now and that GTR. Let's see if he's going to pull around for one more lap right now. But Swift right now, he's just on his out lap right now, and he's going to try and get a go for one more lap to see if he can go in faster.
Jack Mia, of course, not a good time to show on him right now as a penalty for, I assume, corner cutting strikes him once again right there.
And he's going to have to go make 2 more laps again, one for an out lap and one for another qualifying attempt for this lap right here. But
yeah, so he's definitely got to make up some time.
Swift right now, this has been the man to watch, to see, and we've got 10 minutes to go in this qualifying session right now. And And it's going to be a real throwdown and showdown here in these final 10 minutes right here. Swift setting up for another thrilling fast lap right here.
Elliott now just under half a second.
And he just ran out of fuel in that car.
Elliott has run out of fuel. He's got Jack Mia coming, so he's definitely got to get out of the way.
I think he's pulling off to the side right there. Jack Mia right now going on the inside right there.
Very gentleman-like driving right there for Elliott Fageter to stay out of the way. That's really good stuff for him. Now Swift now, first corner. Can he be the one to extend his advantage of that 154.588, which in itself is a blistering time for this group of sessions right there. Amazing stuff for this driver right here.
Absolutely, indeed. This man has been the one to see drive this 95 to the top spot of the whole weekend right now.
And he's even going to go faster right now. 68 thousandths of a second quicker in Sector 1. He was the one who, a lot of people were saying that Aston Martin were going to be the one to beat, but this gentleman right here, taking a Mercedes AMG, denies an Aston Martin 1-2 and puts it as a 2-3. He says, nope, I'm going to take the top spot as a matter of fact.
This has been the man to see all day. I feel like I'm saying the same
74 thousandths fast right now, so he is a man on a mission right now. If you go on board with him, driver's eye view, what you're seeing is what he's seeing right now.
Elliott and Doug Barrow making their way to the pit box right now. They're going to try and go on for a couple more laps here. Let's see what the other guys have. Swift now.
He gets it loose.
But he's still faster. 77 thousandths faster than his personal best.
Yeah, he's faster there, but this is a very power-heavy part of the circuit right there. He's going to lose a lot of time right there. So, if anything, he might be canceling out this lap. So, preparing himself for the next one. Nope, he's going to go for it.
He's going to try to see if he can improve.
He's going to go for it. Let's see what can he do.
Coming a little wide in entry right there. A little wide on exit, but he still manages to keep the car on the curb. Let's see if he improves it.
No!
Loses 3/10 in the final sector. That was going to cost him big time.
Elliott Fageter on an outlap. We'll come back to him. Jack Mia on an outlap. Doug Barrow on an outlap. And Hair Raiser right now. Elliott Fageter right now looks like he's trying to get the slipstream from a Hair Raiser right now to try. Maybe need a fast lap to try and build on the Swift X's advantage right now.
Someone needs a good out radio as well. His right turn signal is still on.
Oh, is Hair Raiser going to cause some havoc? Oh, and Elliott backs out of that lap. That's not good right there.
No, he wants that draft right there from Hair Raiser. Let's see if Hair Raiser is going to slow him down here a little bit. 95 going around, cruising his way around the track. He knows he's got to get back to pit lane before the time clock stops right now for this qualifying session right now.
Yeah, he's not going to have the fuel to make it another lap or so. But if he can be able to get back into the pits, complete an outlap, he might have one more shot to try and be able to eclipse that very fast 154.588.
He's got to be careful not to run out of fuel here, because that could make all the difference in trying to get another faster lap here back on the track. Elliott now less than half a second slower than Swift right now. Let's see if they got something to improve on. Hair Raiser now in the pits right now. We're going to see if he's got time left to make another lap here as well.
Elliott Fageter starting another lap. Hair Raiser obviously getting out of the way, which was not a good help for Elliott. Jack Mia also on another lap. Doug Barrow is also on another lap. So this is going to be a very, very interesting part of the session to keep an eye out for. We got about 3 drivers. Yes, make that 3 drivers as Swift comes to the pits, trying to set faster laps right here. So we're going to start off with Jack Mia, who's currently the first of 3 drivers, currently 3rd fastest, who is on another lap right now. We got Doug Barrow in 4th, and we got Elliott Fageter in 2nd right now.
Puts the left rear tire on the gravel trap. Let's see if that slows him down a little bit. This is going to be very interesting from this driver right here. The 36 Nissan, he's only 3/10 slower, so I don't think he's going to improve on his personal best here with the 55.380 right now.
He rounds, goes to the final set of goes to the chicane right here. Pretty good exit out of there, surprisingly. So all hope's not lost for a faster time. Gets it a little wide in the final hairpin. But what can he do to improve that time? And there's no improvement by 64 thousandths of a second. Doug Barrow now rounding the final corner. What's he got in store for a new fastest lap? Probably
3/10 slower.
3/10 slower. Elliot Fageter now. What can he do now? Takes a lot of real estate out of that second chicane right there. That might be a penalty coming his way. Maybe.
Coming to the final turn right now. Really deep in the corner for that final turn. Really wide on exit right now. Let's see if he's going to improve on his fastest.
He does with a 1:54.955. So that is definitely going to put him at least 4th fastest. I'm not sure if that's going to make him 3rd fastest of the weekend, but that is a really big confidence booster for those Nissan GTRs right there.
Yeah, those Nissans right there really powering those custom Mercedes right now.
But here is the man to watch right now. As Swift right now, he only might have one more shot to try and get a fast and even faster time than a 1:54.588.
Let's see if he can do this right now. He's setting himself up right now through the chicane right now and coming to the final turn right now. He's really got to put the hammer down at this point here. No mistakes and no necessariness. Straight up, he needs this lap here more than anything.
Coming across the finish line now, and he comes down to passes the very long straightaway against pit wall. Looks for the 100-meter board. Brakes right there, and then starts turning in for the very tight hairpin, the tightest hairpin of them all for turn number 1. And then the long, slow left-hander of turn number 2 before an even slower turn 3. A very even slower left-hander of turn number 3 awaits you. Got to carry the momentum down only like 50 miles an hour or so. And then turn 4, he's got all the real estate. That was a really good exit right there. Let's keep an eye out for this one. Let's see where he's going to be. He's a 10th slower. He is a 10th slower right now, so he definitely got something wrong in the cards right there. So let's see if he can try and make up some time right now in this session right here. Coming down to turn number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn number 8 right here. So let's see what he's got in store. Late apex right there. He does that correctly. The 10th and a half still down, so not all hope is lost, but he's got to push like a stabbed rat to try and get back up there.
He's got to really attack this track right now in the last 2 sectors right now. Coming through the left, the Swift left-hander, and then the Swift right-hander right now. We're going to see if this man can improve in these last 2 sectors. He's only a 10 slower down, but it's still doable.
And he's going to make a change. He gained some time, but he's still at 10th down, so this is going to be extremely, extremely close on how he can make up time in this final sector right here. This final sector can either make or break you depending on how well you take that chicane, of course. And then obviously that the final hairpin as well, the right-hander, which will set you straight back onto the pit straight.
Absolutely.
Carrying a lot of momentum right there. Is it enough to break it through? No, a 54.7 right there. That was a very close time right there.
He's going to have to probably make his way around one more time right now.
And a very good effort right there for Swift right there, who is pretty much out of fuel at this rate.
Not necessarily.
Elliot Fageter right now, he's on a green sector right now, so I assume he's had a pretty good sector time made up. Let's take a look real quickly. Purple sectors, and obviously green sector in sector 4, so with less than 10 minutes to go.
What's on the gravel trap that really slows him down right now? That is not going to help his case at all right now.
So 54.955, still the fastest, but he probably has enough fuel to go for one more lap, obviously. Absolutely. And Doug Barrow has gone 3rd fastest right now, eclipsing Jack Mia. So that's a very late improvement right there for top 3 of the session right there, but that's very good for Doug Barrow right there.
Puts the car in P5 right there.
So Elliot's going to go again.
56.3. Jack Mia now P3. Hair Racer P4. These times are really getting competitive right now. These drivers want this so bad. Elliot's got less grippier tires right there. Really slide the car around right there.
Yeah, the rear end's starting to give up, but that might be overstood that Elliot might be looking for in terms of rotating the vehicle.
Really slow on exit right there, but he's got a good exit right there. Wasn't as wide. 3/10
3/10 down. So that might not be the thing, but Elliott might have needed right there.
This man right here.
And Swift's going to try and finish this lap. Swift is going to try and finish this lap. So this is very, very interesting stuff right here, unless he's coming to the pits. No, he's coming back to the pits. So Swift going to try at least one more chance to try and eclipse that 54.5.
Depends on how much time is left here. We may not even see another lap here from Swift right there. I think maybe his day is done.
Yeah, Swift's day might be done right there, but Elliott Fageter
gets
it on the gravel, so that's definitely not what he needed. That might be his lap done right there, but if he's got one more lap...
Yeah, I think he's gonna...
Yeah, I think he's done.
He knows his lap's done.
Yep, with that right there, the session might be done and over, so...
Swift trying to get his way back around.
So let's see who's on. Session is now ended, so... Last laps right there. The only person that can really set their fastest lap is Jack Mia. So, because everyone else is on a flying lap, Elliott's on a flying lap.
28,000 improved.
Oh, this is going to be very, very close between him and Doug Barrow. Can Jack Mia, who joined the session late, at least eclipse for P3 in this series right now? So, let's take a look and see what happens.
Coming to the final turn right now here, we're going to see here if Jack Mia can improve. Really good entry and exit right there. Will he improve on this final sector? He improves!
He improves!
He's in P2! Oh no, never mind.
He improved to P3, but that was very good right there.
Sorry, I got excited right there for a second. My apologies to everyone who's tuned in here to this session right here. We've just witnessed quite the session here with Swift taking P1, Elliott taking P2.
Yeah, it was a very, very interesting session, but this session we had a new fastest set time outright in the hands of Swift, a 154.588. That is a very, very impressive time indeed.
Indeed. What a day for that driver right there. He knows he's got the fastest time and car on the track right there as well. And I'm going to be signing off the commentary booth right here. Trevor, it was nice commentating with you, my friend.
Of course.
And yeah, thanks to all who have been tuning, and have a nice day.
All right, so that was, of course, SDM Viper here, who is, of course, my twin brother, of course. But other than that, I think the session of today had some very interesting things happening. Of course, Elliott Fageter found his confidence back and was able to eclipse into P2 for the session. We had a new fastest time outright this weekend in these two sessions, and that was in the hands of Swift, who was able to put in a very fast 154.588, even eclipsing the 81 Aston Martin, and then the Red Bull Aston Martin of Superhero as well, who also had a very quick car as well. And then obviously another thing to look at too is the Audi. The number, I want to say the 11 or the 77, it's one of the two numbers, but keep an eye on him for this season. He's a very quick, very consistent racer, but other than that, the sessions were very good to watch. But so thank you all for watching the two evaluation sessions. We will start next week with the Pro-Am and Pro races here on the Straight Line Motorsports GT3 Championship and on the Straight Line Motorsports YouTube channel. We will first go to Mount Panorama, which is next weekend, same times, and hopefully we will have some fun races as well. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I have been your host for the evaluation sessions, SDM_RRTC, and we will see you all next time.